I want to welcome everybody to the Town of North Hempstead swearing-in ceremony with Judi Bosworth as the head of the town. I'm going to switch things up a little bit, and I'm going to bring Rabbi Howard Stecker up, who is the senior rabbi at Temple Israel of Great Neck.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am so honored to be here on this beautiful afternoon, honored to have been asked by one of those who will be sworn in today, Veronica Lurvey. I am her spiritual leader, and she in so many ways is my spiritual leader, somebody who channels her faith in order to make the world a better place. I congratulate her. I congratulate all those who are being sworn in today. The Bible tells the story of the sons of Jacob who could not get along with one another and who actually made quite a mess of their lives. And at one point they abandoned a brother. They abandoned their brother Joseph, whom they later needed in order to survive. At a key moment in the story when things were absolutely going to fall completely apart, Brother Judah stepped forward. And he spoke honestly and with understanding of the situation, and he took responsibility for the situation. And from the time he stepped forward, the family fully crystallized, and they were able to sustain themselves and to sustain others. He was inspired by his daughter-in-law, Tamar, because the Bible understood going back generations and generations that men and women need to step forward and to inspire each other. So I want to say to those who are being sworn in today, to those who are our elected leaders, we need you to continue to step forward, even when it is painful, even when it may seem easier to just stay put. We need you to continue to step forward to help ensure that all of us and our children and their children can learn and worship and work and shop and go to a concert and a ball game in safety and without fear. We need you to continue to step forward to ensure that all of us have what we need to feed and clothe and house ourselves and our families. We need you to continue to step forward to ensure that our diversity is a source of celebration, not just tolerance. Tolerance is a very low bar when it comes to how we respond to other human beings. Tolerance is what you do for a hemorrhoid that won't go away. A human being deserves much more. A human being who carries the infinite spark deserves to be celebrated. All of us, regardless of our socioeconomic status, regardless of our gender and sexuality, regardless of our faith, regardless of our ethnicity, regardless of our race, regardless of whether our families came here generations and generations ago, or we arrived just this week, or whether we are still trying to arrive to this great nation, deserve to be fully celebrated. And we need you, our leaders, to step forward to help lead the way. May the source of the infinite spark within each of us continue to give our leaders the strength to step forward so that all of us can walk forward together. Amen.
Amen. I would also like to bring up at this time, for an invocation, Sheikh Maji Ali, who is the director of the North Shore Islamic Center.
Thank you so much. So I don't have to repeat that line in my speech about my name and what I am going to say today about myself. First of all, good afternoon, everybody, and Happy New Year, and congratulations for all our respected elected officials. We start by the name of God, in the name of God, the most compassionate, most merciful. Peace be upon you all. I would like to thank you first so much for inviting me to join you in this momentous occasions. And it's an honor for me to offer the prayer for our respected elected officials for the new year of 2020. We know God Almighty created everything in this universe, but among His creation, human beings are considered the best. He created them from Adam and Eve, and He made them into a nation. Question why? So they that maybe they know each other, they love and care for each other and respect one another. And I remember the word of wisdom that God sent to the final prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and peace be upon all the prophet and the messenger that Allah sent to guide human being. He said that Angel Jibreel, and all we know who is Angel Jibreel, one day he came to the prophet and he's advising him to take care of the neighbor. Every time he come and deliver message from God to him, he advised him, he said, take care of your neighbor, help them, stand next to them. Until the prophet, he thought one day that Angel Jibreel, he's going to bring a message from God that the neighbor, they will have the right to inherit. That how much we care about our neighbors. Now I requested you all to join me in this afternoon prayer. Our Lord, our Creator, and our Sustainer, all praise is due to you. You are the Lord of the heaven and the earth, and all that in between. First, we pray for our elected official. Oh Lord, please give them all the support, guidance, and blessing that they need in each step and decision they will take to serve the people of the town of North Hempstead. We also pray especially for their families, their wives, husbands, and children, that you grant them patience and strength while their loved ones are serving our communities in the offices. Finally, we ask you, O Lord, to bless this nation and this community and this land with your peace, blessing, and the year of prosperity to come. Ameen. Ameen. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Now we're going to get ready for the installation of Judi Bosworth, and that is going to be done by Controller Tom DiNapoli. And just a few words about Tom. Come on, you can come up. A few words about Tom, and it just, anytime I introduce Tom, it's the easiest thing in the world. I've said it to him last time. It's like having Jesus next to me. He has found so much waste in the system. It's beyond acknowledgement. It's billions. Last year, I believe it was $500 billion was given back in unclaimed funds. I mean, the stuff that he has paid attention to is so, again, it goes back to my beliefs. I don't care about the bigger picture. I mean, he runs the second largest pension fund in the world. But besides that, you can give him an award, applause rather. Besides that, Tom looks for the people who are stealing $50,000 from a school budget, where that's taken from a handicapped child, or it's taken from an after-school program because there's no money left. Those are the things that I consider the most important that Tom goes after. And you go through the list, it's amazing. And I read his newsletter every week, so I will pass on the most recent information that Tom's office is sharing. Use your Christmas gift cards, because they have expiration dates, they have declining balances, they have charges, and they will eventually go to the unclaimed funds. So if somebody was nice enough to give you a card, please spend it, help the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York State Controller, Tom DiNapoli.
Bless you, my sons. Did you see the look on Bishop Harvey and Father John's face? Did you see that? And Rabbi, apologies to him. And Sheik. Happy New Year, everyone. It is great to be here. So many important things have been said. Virtually all of it has been said. However, I have not had the chance to say it. And for those of you who've been to these events before, and many of you have been, because Judi does care, dinner is coming up shortly and breakfast is arranged if need be. So we're still in it for the duration. Maybe we're halfway through, who knows? I say it lovingly, those of you who were at my last installation, it's still going on. I left it to come here to be part of this one. Let me say first of all to our MC and our town leader, to John Ryan, yes, you are doing a great job, but more importantly, as some of us know, you're going through a tough time. You don't show it. And as we've said to so many at this time of year, truly we mean it for you. A happy and a healthy new year for you, John Ryan. I do want to take the privilege of a few words about Judi before I call her and her family up for the formal part of the program. And wow, your fourth term as town supervisor. And I've had the chance to do it all 4 times, right? I'll be here for the 5th too, or the 6th, who knows? This really is personal for me as a lifelong resident of this great town. And to see the growth of the town, the evolution of the leadership here, happens to be Democratic leadership for many, many years. I continue to be so proud to be able to say, wherever I travel across New York State, that I'm a resident of the great town of North Hempstead. Certainly my part is about Judi, but I do want to also extend my congratulations to the entire team. You know, so many of the officials spoke so well of Charles Berman. Now, some of that is because his mother is Carol, that's true. But Charlie, with all due respect to my colleagues, unlike them, I actually have to write your name out on those checks. So I have a different point of view about you than they do. And Attorney General, what you're hearing with that loud reaction when his interest, it's not loud applause, it's boos of love is what it is. That's what it is. Charlie, you do a great job, receiver of taxes. Congratulations to you. To Peter Zuckerman, who does a great job in the council and represents the hamlet that I grew up in Albertson, a great community. Peter, thank you, and congratulations on your reelection. You're being sworn in again. To Veronica Lurvey, who I've had the chance to get to know, and ditto what everyone has said. She's certainly already doing a great job, will do even better in her full term of office. Congratulations to Veronica on being sworn in today. And to Mariann Dalimonte, representing Manhasset and Port Washington. Let's not forget those Manhasset constituents as well. Congratulations to you on your term of office. And you're rounding out a wonderful team to the individual who truly represents an oppressed minority, Wayne Wink. Thank you so much for representing white Protestant guys. Somebody's got to do it. You do it well as town clerk. Give him another round of applause for everything he does. Viviana Russell, who's a very dynamic member of the town council representing Westbury and Newcastle and Carl Place. Lee Seaman couldn't be here, but she's with us in spirit, and we love Lee Seaman. Give her a round of applause. And let's give it up for our newly installed minority Republican leader of the town council. He won that, right? Nobody ran against him, I gather. Angelo Ferrara. Give Angelo a round of applause as well. Judi Bosworth won with 67% of the vote, and the other 33% wanted to vote for her. They just, for some reason, couldn't figure out how to fill in the bubble. 67%, that's pretty darn good, right? She got tremendous support from all of you. She certainly crossed party lines in terms of her support because her stewardship of town government is one that knows no partisanship, no favoritism. She truly is there for the people. And her greatest support was her own team, her home team of the Bosworth team. And we're going to be calling them all up in a moment, but I do want to acknowledge them. The great Dr. Jay Bosworth, right here. Jay, stand up so I can see you. Come on, stand up so I can see you. You have no choice. Dr. Brian Bosworth and his wife Lauren are here. Give them a round of applause. Come on, wave, let them see you. Grandchildren Andrew and Robin, give them a round of applause. Come on, don't be shy. Fellow who was an intern in my assembly office, Michael Bosworth and his partner Dave Guggenheim are here. Give them a round of applause. Wave at least. You don't want to stand up, wave. Okay. We're going to call them up in a minute. We're not going to let them stay in their seats. Judi and I go back a long time. I have to say that our government relationship is based really on a personal friendship. We got to know each other well. When she was on the Board of Education, we had that affinity, given my time on a school board as well. I remember the day, and some of you heard me tell the story, she said, I'd like to meet you at Bruce's. We all remember Bruce is a blessed memory, right? Not Bruce, but Bruce's is a blessed memory. Bruce is down in Boca, so those of you who go down there, you can go to Bruce's of Great Neck in Boca West. A little advertisement for Bruce. But Judi said, Tom, I'd like to do something more. I love being on the school board, but I think I want to do something more. That conversation led to her being a part of my assembly office team, my district office on Middle Neck Road, on top of Millie's, another place of very fond memory. And Judi just did an outstanding job taking on many important projects that benefited our constituents, particularly on health care and senior issues. No surprise that got people to know her better. And when she had the chance to run for county legislature, she did, served with distinction. And when she had the chance to run for town supervisor, no surprise, she was the favorite to win. And she hit the ground running, has been doing an outstanding job since then. It's been said, but it is worthy to repeat, first and foremost, she's a great fiscal steward for our town. Having the budget be done within the tax cap, that's not easy to do. Having that AAA rating from Moody's and continuing it, the first time the town ever had that. And reducing debt burden, that's part of why that rating is so high. And making sure, at least for the last 4 years, and I know this is a pattern for the future, that the town budget will be voted on before Election Day, so that people know exactly what's happening, so no one can pull a fasty, right, and do something after Election Day. 6 times, not 4 times. 6 times, even more than I thought. That's making transparent government real, more accessibility for people to attend town board meetings, all the key issues that really impact on our quality of life, from the environment, water quality, Long Island Sound, drinking water, working with our small business community, promoting sustainable economic development, programs for seniors, expanding the great work that was started with Project Independence, programs for our youth, our Veterans Advisory Committee, she loves our veterans, procurement reform to make sure that there's greater efficiency looking out for taxpayer interest. How about that landmark Tobacco 21 legislation to protect our young people from the ravages of getting hooked on tobacco? I think that deserves a round of applause, right? As was mentioned, the Not in Our Town initiative, at a time where we're very, very aware of the need to speak out against hate, to make sure that no one in our community has a sense of fear or isolation. Judi has been an incredible leader in that regard. And a new term of office, what does that mean? Well, the good news is it means more of the same, and I think that's why you got that 67%. But it also means that she's going to look for even more new initiatives, making sure that our infrastructure is in the best shape. Not only our transportation infrastructure, our environmental infrastructure as well. Trying to have the town to continue to come up with creative solutions on the issue of housing affordability. It's all tied to planning, and that's a very important role for the town government to provide, and certainly putting a priority on constituent services. In my position, I get to see a lot of what's happening in local governments all across our state. And unfortunately, sometimes we have to call out local governments that are in fiscal stress or doing things wrong. It is so great for me to always come home and know that I live in a township where everything is being done in the right way. It's being done carefully, professionally, and it's being led by someone who has a strong sense of ethics, is someone of complete integrity, is a very caring and a very strong leader, puts a priority on inclusion. She doesn't want any neighborhood, any community, or any family to feel left out of the North Hempstead story. That's the kind of leadership that we've come to expect from Judi Bosworth. And although I know her very, very well, sometimes even when you know people, every now and then, you can step back and say, wow, that even impressed me. And I have to say, Judi, when I've seen you in action, not just in a, on a social occasion, but to see you in action as our town supervisor, I do have those moments where I just step back and I say, I know her well, and it's hard to separate the supervisor from the person. It's hard to forget that she's not my staff person anymore, that she's a leader in her own right. She was elected to something that I couldn't get elected to even, on top of it. But I got a good consolation prize, it's all right. And I do step back and I say, wow, Judi Bosworth, you are an extraordinary public servant, and someone I am so proud to call my supervisor, and just as proud to call my very dear friend. Ladies and gentlemen, let's call forward for her official swearing in, the present and future supervisor of the town of North Hempstead, the Honorable Judi Bosworth, and I'm going to call her family up as well. Jay Bosworth, Brian and Lauren, Andrew and Robin, Michael and David. Okay, ready? Let me get a little closer. Stick it here. Ready?
I am.
You raise your right hand?
I will.
You repeat after me?
I will.
You swear you will?
I will, I swear.
Ready? I, Judi Bosworth,
I, Judi Bosworth,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Supervisor for the Town of North Hempstead,
of Supervisor for the Town of North Hempstead,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
So Michael just gave me very good words of advice. He said, don't cry. Let's hear it for Tom DiNapoli. Is he not extraordinary? Tom, it wouldn't be a swearing in for me if you were not administering the oath of office. Tom talks about the 3 times that he swore me in as supervisor, now 4th, as well as 3 times as county legislator. So I thank you so much for always being there, for being such a good friend, for being such a good friend to all of us here in the town of North Hempstead and the great state of New York. So Tom, I have to speak about Tom a little more. Tom really sets that gold standard for what elected officials should aspire to. Honesty, integrity. He's truly a man of the people, someone we can all trust, and we better because he's really dealing with all of our money, but we can trust him. But Tom is someone that my family and I consider an honorary Bosworth, a part of our family. You mean so much to us. Thank you. So good afternoon, everybody. Happy New Year. I am so honored to have been reelected as your supervisor for a 4th term, in case you didn't know. I thank you for the trust and confidence that you have shown in me. With each year, I understand more fully the enormous responsibility that goes along with this commitment. Being elected to public office and participating in our government, our democratic system, that's a privilege. And I'm so honored to once again have that opportunity to serve. We may be local government, but just like the federal government, we too stand on the shoulders of those who gave birth to this great country of ours. And I know Senator Schumer spoke about it, and others did it as well. But it was an experiment in self-governing that was based on respect for all and a promise that all be treated equally. although especially if you were a white Protestant landowner. But we've evolved. Although I have to say that it seems to be functioning slightly better here in North Hempstead than it appears to be in, say, I don't know, Washington, D.C., as Congressman Swazi can attest to, we should never forget the importance of holding on to that promise. When I look out at this audience, I see faces of my partners in this self-governing adventure. My senior staff, commissioners, deputy commissioners, Tom McDonough, I'm so happy that you're here, directors, managers, and our unionized workforce. You are all part of what makes this government team great. And of course, our wonderful North Hempstead residents, who are some of the most engaged and intelligent partners one could ask for. You inspire us every day to be the best that we can be. And I'm pleased, of course, to welcome my colleagues in government, my family, friends, community leaders, our state and county officials, mayors, village trustees, special district commissioners, school board members, and school superintendents, as well as leaders of our labor community, all of whom took the time to be with us today. You know, Art Gibson was mentioned. He's the plumber to the stars. Thank you each, and Maddie, of course, you too as well. Thank you each and every one of you for joining us and for all that you do. So we were so honored that Senator Schumer came and spoke with us. He's always here for us in North Hempstead and has been a really great friend, and we're so proud that he came and spoke words of congratulations to all of those who are being sworn in today, and Congressman Swazi. So I first got to know Congressman Swazi when I was a legislator, and he was the county executive. An amazing person, leading with your heart, trying to do the best for us all, whether it's in the county or down in Washington. Always there fighting, whether it's fighting for our veterans, fighting to take a stand against all the horrific acts of anti-Semitism that we're now unfortunately seeing. You're there, you're fighting for us, and we thank you so much for that. And our Attorney General, oh my goodness. I have to say, Tish came over to me, gave me a hug. I put my head on her shoulder and I said, I could stand here all day. It was very comfortable. But my goodness, the first woman Attorney General, the first African American Attorney General. If that were not enough, you are such an extraordinary leader. Your coming here today means so much. You have taken such strides to ensure that there's legal justice for all, and it's something that you do from your heart and with passion, and we're so grateful to you for that. And my good friend Laura Curran. When I think of Laura Curran, I think of a woman who has shown such great courage and such great fortitude, standing up for things that would be easier to just kind of kick down the road. I remember when Congressman Swazi was the county executive and people were talking about the assessment mess. And I don't know if you remember this, Tom, but you said, if it was easy to fix, don't you think we would have fixed it already? And there was always trying. But Laura, you didn't just kick it down the road. Not that you were trying very hard as well. But took that very hard stance of saying, we need to fix it, and we need to fix it now. And it's not easy, but we thank you for having that courage and for taking that stand and for making sure that our county is now going to be in the right direction of assessment and for so many other things. Thank you so much. And Controller Jack Schneerman, my goodness, transparency in the Controller's office, what a novel concept. We're so grateful that you're here, that you've been such a good friend to us. Now, Jack covers the entire county, but I don't think there's an event that we have here that Jack does not attend. It's important to him that everybody gets to know him and is able to ask him those important questions that one would ask a controller. Not quite sure what that is, but okay. And we so appreciate you being here. Thank you. And so I know we have so many elected officials that are here today. Just want to make sure that we thank you all. Anna, I know you're going to be coming up and swearing Veronica in. and which is really the right thing, since Veronica now has the seat that Anna held. So there's kind of like a symmetry in that. But we thank you all so much for being here. And my family. This is where I can cry, but I'm going to really try not to. I'm so delighted that my children, Brian and Lauren, Michael and Dave, are here today. You are such a source of pride, all of you serving your communities in your own very special way, each and every one of you. Makes me so proud. My grandchildren, Andrew and Robin. So many of you have watched them grow. Someone actually came in with a picture before of Andrew and Robin at one of the first swearing-ins. I was taller than them then. So I'm so proud of you. Just so you know where they are now, Andrew is counting the days until he gets his driver's permit. Robin plays center on her basketball team. You're both contributing so much to your school and Temple communities, and we are so proud of you. Now, the love of my life, Dr. J. So I know Senator Schumer his parents just celebrated their 70th anniversary. Jay and I just celebrated our 50th anniversary. Just in case you're wondering, I met Jay when I was 12 years old. So, at Broad Channel Day Camp. So we go back a long way. Jay, it's your love and support that gets me through the most challenging times. I'm so grateful that we have our life together. And he's crying. And today, we celebrate the swearing in of 4 other town officials, and I congratulate each and every one of them. Town Receiver of Taxes, Charles Berman. So there's a reason people love Charlie. There are many reasons people love Charlie. But when the first mention of the fact that we were only going to be able to deduct $10,000 on property taxes, Charlie went right into action, made sure that the Receiver of Taxes office was open all through Christmas. Even, I remember we were there New Year's Eve till 5 o'clock, allowing people to come and pay their taxes for the following year so that they'd at least get the benefit for that. Charlie did it with such grace, his staff as well, and that's just one of the things that Charlie does as Receiver of Taxes, that when we say his name, people really don't boo, they actually do applaud. So Charlie, good job. So congratulations to our 2nd District Council member, Peter Zuckerman. You know, when you need a friend, you know you can go to Peter. Peter has been such an amazing friend, supporter, not just to me, to everybody on the board, to everybody in the district that he represents, to everybody in the town of North Hempstead. Peter, we're so proud of you. So now Veronica is going to have to give up the title of the newest member to the town council. I think she's happy to do that. Veronica really did hit the ground running. She took over when the residents of the state Senate district, and I don't know what number it is, Anna? 7th, were wise enough to elect this fine woman to the New York State Senate. Let's hear it for Anna Kaplan. And we were wise enough to appoint Veronica. And she has really done such an outstanding job making sure she's there for her constituents in Great Neck, her constituents in Manhasset. She's there for everyone. She is working so hard, and I know that that is just going to continue. So thank you, Veronica. And of course, now she's going to have the newest council member of the 6th District. Let's hear it from Mariann Dalimonte. So I actually am going to have the honor of swearing Mariann in, so I'm going to be saying all sorts of wonderful things about her then. But suffice it to say, She is an amazingly wonderful addition to the town council, and we're so proud of you. And I would like to recognize our other town elected officials who are here with us today, each of whom is dedicated to making North Hempstead government work responsibly for all our residents. So I think his head is just going to get swelled. But when I introduce our town clerk, I like to introduce him as the wonderful Wayne Wink. Let's hear it for Wayne. And we also have with us here today a council member who is so dedicated to representing the needs of her community, who works tirelessly to make sure that that happens. I'm so proud to introduce our council member, Viviana Russell. Council members Lee Seaman and Angela Ferrara, as Tom said, he knows they're here with us in spirit. They are, but they're not here with us actually today, but we thank them for the work that they do. Let's hear it for them. And a very special thank you to the members of the clergy and the other officials who took part in our ceremony here today. Westbury High School Navy Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, were they not great when they brought out the colors? The Girl Scouts of Nassau County, they're new to us, and what a great addition they are to our program. Rabbi Howard Stecker of Temple Israel of Great Neck. And I'm going to recognize my rabbi, Rabbi Robert Whittam. Let's hear of him too. Bishop Lionel Harvey of the First Baptist Cathedral of Westbury. Just want to point out he is taller than you, Tisha. Okay. But also very nice to put your head on his shoulder. The Imam of the North Shore Islamic Center, Sheikh Magdi Ali. Thank you so much for your words. And of course, the chair of our North Hempstead Democratic Party, MC extraordinaire. Let's hear it for John Ryan. We're also happy that John is here with us today, and we thank John for the extraordinary work that you did, because it's because of your work and faith in all of us that this row sitting up and down here is here today getting ready to be installed. So thank you so much for all that you do every day for all of us. And Robert Zimmerman is here. Is he still here? Where's Robert? There he is. Okay, national committeeman, TV pundit. But I loved what John said when he said Robert was out there walking with Mariann, walking with Veronica, just walking and supporting us here in the town of North Hempstead, ringing doorbells, calling people, doing all the things that are not easy to do. And I would always say to him, Robert, you know, you're meeting with all these very, very important people, and here you are helping us in the town of North Hempstead. We thank you so much. So the past 2 years have certainly been highlighted by many accomplishments that we can all be proud of. The addition of a popular new dog park. Have any of you gone to the new dog park? It's a Tully, it's extraordinary. You should go to it. It's amazing. Mountain bike and hiking trails, we've added those at no cost to our taxpayers, because it's done in cooperation with a group called Climb, and it is really amazing. Also right across from North Hempstead Beach Park, as well as the almost mile extension to our beautiful Hempstead Harbor Trail. So Jay and I actually walked the Hempstead Harbor Trail when it was Jay's birthday a few years ago. It was a special birthday. We actually dedicated a bench to Jay. I paid for it. Jay just said he paid for it. That's probably true. But it is such an amazing thing. If you have not walked that trail, you really have to. It's back and if you walk from one end to the other, it's a 4-mile walk. It's an amazing thing. Our Parks Department takes such great care of it, and you feel like you're in the wild, and meanwhile you have West Shore Road on one side of you, but you have Hempstead Harbor on the other side. It's extraordinary. Please go take a walk there. So as has been mentioned, we've maintained our AAA bond rating, and we've been designated, this hasn't been said, by Money Magazine as one of the 8 best places to retire to in the United States of America. That's pretty cool. So I'm not doing my State of the Town speech when I'll be talking all about Project Independence and all of those great things. But we love our seniors. We try to do everything that we can to make sure that our seniors can age in place. And I think that's part of the reason that this is such a great place for seniors, for everybody, children of all ages. We have some new advisory committees. We have our Labor Advisory Committee. Gentlemen, thank you. This is so important. We're working cooperatively and collaboratively with our amazing labor leaders. So important that their voices be heard and that we're able to work together to make sure that labor is well represented in the town of North Hempstead, and we're able to do projects that are done safely and done so that we can have the confidence that whatever is done here is done in the right way. So thank you so much. We now have a chamber roundtable. We're working with the leaders of the different chambers of commerce in the town of North Hempstead, because we want to make sure that we're working together to see what we can do to revitalize our downtowns, to make sure that this is working together. We have all kinds of great things that we're going to be doing. Stay tuned, and that'll be in my State of the Town. But the Chamber Advisory Committee is just a wonderful committee. And that's added to our already established Disability Advisory Committee that's doing fabulous work, and our Veterans Advisory Committee, whose members you saw just leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's hear it for all of them. We have continued with our Not in Our Town initiative. County Executive Laura Curran mentioned it, as did our great controller, Tom DiNapoli. We're not just starting it. This is the 3rd year of our project, Not in Our Town initiative. But it's very telling and important that we are still doing this. The escalating acts of anti-Semitism and messages of hate and bigotry that we read about almost daily underscores the need for us to stand together in solidarity, to vow to not remain silent, and to say, no, not in our town, not in our county, not in our state, and not in our country. I look forward to continuing to work with our courageous Nassau County Executive Laura Curran and Suffolk County Executive Steve Ballone on their bi-county anti-hate initiatives. I'll be joining Laura, as well as Rabbi Pearl, Isma Chowdhury, Bishop Harvey, next Sunday, January 12th at 3 p.m. on a march to stand up against anti-Semitism and all acts of hate. I'd like to invite you all to join us. I hope that you will, so that you can show support for our Jewish communities as well as all our communities in Nassau County. Hate has no place here. I see my friend Bobby Kumar standing there. Hi, Bobby. So if I had to distill the essence of why the town has accomplished so much, I'd have to say it's because of the atmosphere of bipartisanship and cooperation that exists on our town board, in the halls of town hall, with our elected officials on all levels of government, and in our interactions with our residents. I always say our residents are our eyes and ears. They contribute greatly to helping us know what issues need to be addressed. Some of the issues that we've worked on, that we'll still be working on, are ways to revitalize our downtowns, deal with the incessant and unacceptable noise of planes in the skies over North Hempstead. That has to stop. That just has to stop. Mayor Koblenz, I know you agree with that. Okay. And finding ways of encouraging growth in our town without negatively affecting our quality of life. We need to do both. So, as I begin my 4th term as supervisor, first I want to recognize my Chief of Staff, Janine Dillon. Thank you. Janine has been such an amazing support. And our town attorney, Len Capsalis. Thank you. And Kim, I don't have this written down. Kim Corcoran-Galante, who is at the heart of this being so beautifully set up. Any of the delicious food you're going to be eating is going to be as a result of our Commissioner of Community Services, Kim, and her fabulous team that you're going to see standing around and helping. Rachel Bryn, who's at the heart and soul of everything that we do. Thank you, Rachel. But I want to recognize that the harmony that you're hearing about in North Hempstead doesn't mean that we are without our challenges. We have them. We have plenty of them. However, we will continue to work together in a spirit of openness, transparency, and respect. When people of goodwill get together, there's no limit to what they can accomplish. I humbly thank you for another opportunity to serve as the supervisor of the town of North Hempstead. I will always strive to live up to the ideals of just plain and simply doing the right thing. That's what good government is all about. Thank you all for being here today. God bless you, and God bless America.
Okay, the next candidate to be sworn in is the man that everybody seems to love in this room today, Charlie Berman. And Charlie is going to be sworn in by the Honorable Tammy Robbins. Tammy is a judge for Nassau County Courts in New York. She attended Albany, SUNY at Albany, for her undergraduate degree.
Go Great Danes.
Go what?
Great Danes.
Great Danes. Go Great Danes. Okay. Go! Anyway, and then from there she went to Hofstra for law school. She spent 10 or 11 years in the DA's office,
Yes.
in the Nassau County DA's office, and then moved on to become a judge. It is really an honor and a privilege to bring Tammy up here because as a judge, she really has fought so hard for the people. I've met you a few times, and I hear about you more than I've seen you, but judges have
Hearing
that.
about judges is not necessarily good.
No, but yours is good. Yours is good. Yours is good. Ladies and gentlemen, Tammy Robbins.
Good afternoon. I can't believe I'm like swearing in the rock star, Charlie Berman. What an honor. For a decade, the people of the town of North Hempstead have been fortunate to have, in serving in their government, Charlie, who is truly an honest public servant. He performs his duty as the receiver of taxes with hard work and integrity. As far as having to pay your taxes, he makes it, I guess, about as painless as it seems. I'm not a resident, but, you know, I'd be happy. I'll write you a check anyway, Charlie, just because you do such a great job. He is a fine public official, a fine citizen, husband, father, and friend to me and my family. I am honored to administer this oath of office today to your rock star receiver of taxes, Charlie Berman. Please come up with your family. Okay, you ready, Charlie? Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Charles Berman,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of the Receiver of Taxes of the Town of North Hempstead
of the office of the Receiver of Taxes of the Town of North Hempstead
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, good luck in your next term.
Need my glasses. Thank you and good afternoon. And thank you, Judge Tammy Robbins, for your kind words and for swearing me in. As some of you may know, Tammy is the sister of my former deputy, who we called the great Ken Schwitz, who passed away suddenly and tragically on March 1st, 2012. So it's very meaningful, Tammy, that you were here today. Ken was beloved by many people who were here, and we're still using his ideas to help us run our office. I'd like to take a minute to thank my family for their love and support. My wife, Lisa. We just celebrated our 37th wedding anniversary, and I definitely would not be here without you. Our children, Jeremy, Manhasset social studies teacher, who's obviously liked more in Manhasset than I am, if you check the election results. But we're going to keep trying. Rebecca and Zach, who are getting married later this year in the fall. Congratulations to them. And Ben Berman, our law student, who just successfully completed his first year of Toro Law School. So, I love you all. And it's really thrilling that my mother is here today. My mother, who you heard, Senator Carol Berman, who's 96 now. She's still here, and there's many people here who will remember you and know you. Every time I go to an event, my mother says, well, if there's anybody there who remembers me, tell them I say hello. But there are plenty of people. So my mother is my inspiration and still my top political consultant. And you should know that my kids are the only ones I know of whose grandma has her own Wikipedia page and a BBC movie. So if you want to know how to fight airport noise, watch the BBC movie that the British made, because she actually won that fight against England and France on aircraft noise. So I've been receiver of taxes for the past 10 years, and many people really don't know what our office does beyond the name of the office. So I want to give you just a general overview and explain some of the functions and responsibilities. The Town of North Hempstead Receiver of Taxes Office handles the billing, collection, investment, and distribution of the property taxes for the town and its 43 special districts, Nassau County, the county special districts, and 13 school districts. And there are 73,000 parcels in this town. So tax office has a staff of 14 full-time and 6 part-time employees. We bill twice a year, and there are 4 collection cycles. So there's one bill in January for the general taxes and one bill in October for the school taxes, and payments are made in 2 halves. We mail approximately, in order to do that, we mail approximately 92,000 paper bills every year, and we receive approximately 280,000 payments to process. There are over 100,000 automated payments that are made through our lockbox contractor. We also issue 2,000 revised tax bills resulting from assessment reductions, apportionments, and corrections. The tax office also mails 73,000 tax receipts and statements per year, as well as 14,000 unpaid notices. We issue 2,000 refunds resulting from overpayments or property assessment reductions. We return 1,300 incorrect payments for correction and 1,000 duplicate payments. And I know everybody wants to know about this. For 2019-2020, the total tax warrant for school and general taxes is $1,380,000,000. So for school tax levies, there are 13 school districts, 10 are wholly in the town, 3 partially, plus the 7 libraries. That's $972,670,000. And for general taxes, that's $408 million. And we will collect over 98% of all that money, which is the highest of any town on Long Island. The rest of the unpaid taxes, the treasurer collects. So we turn that over to Nassau County. Of all the monies collected in our tax office, The school districts and libraries receive 69%. 19% goes back to Nassau County and the county special districts. And as Judi liked to point out on the campaign trail, only 2% to the Town of North Hempstead General Fund and 2% to the Town of North Hempstead Town Outside Village Fund, so a total of 4%. So, you know, Judi was saying this on the campaign trail, and I was not sure where she was getting these numbers from. But she, you know, because I know how much money I turn over to North Hempstead every year. But she was actually right. So I, as always, so I actually, so when Judi, when you go campaigning, which will be soon for your next race, I made a big pie chart for you, which I'll give you.
Thank you, Joel.
So anyway, but as you know, it is a large amount of money. Additionally, the tax office produces revenue for the town, which many of you may not know about, but through the interest that we collect that's earned on the general tax money and the penalty money, and there are some return check fees. In 2019, the tax office dispersed $1.4 million in revenue back to the town. So we helped Judi get her AAA bond rating. And that was actually $255,638 more than we were budgeted for. So, so anyway, that really is a credit to my deputy, my financial deputy. He did such a great job earning more interest than we've earned in many years last year. And my chief deputy, who's here today, Lou DeRosa, for so efficiently overseeing the unpaid notices and the collection of penalties, because if we don't collect it, then Nassau County does. But Lou didn't leave any money on the table this year. So congratulations. The tax office has extensive daily contact with our residents and property owners in North Hempstead. This really is where the rubber meets the road. Through our 311 call center, our office receives over 25,000 phone calls. We assist more than 10,000 constituents in person every year in the Manhasset tax office with payments, customer service, and general tax inquiries. We service an additional 2,000 constituents on our satellite tax collection sites and thousands of more people through my tax exemption workshops and assessment grievance seminars. So we do receive over 10,000 tax payments in person in Manhasset, including $9 million in cash. So we provide our residents additionally with online bill pay, where we receive over 15,000 payments. And this year, we're looking to rebid that and hopefully bring the fees that are charged to use that online service down. And also, we want to enhance the service by adding e-lockbox. That's going to be a programming issue, but that will enable people who want to do online bill pay, they could send the money and then have us receive the money simultaneously. Now if they do online bill pay from their banks, they send the money, it's funded, it's sent, and then eventually it's paid. It usually takes about 5 days, but we're stepping up to e-lockbox as well. So we're looking for those enhancements. And additionally, the tax office maintains all the tax billing records. So in 2019, our office made more than 15,000 record changes due to mailing address changes, ownership changes, mortgage registrations, mortgage satisfactions, assessment reductions, and apportionments. So when people now ask you, what does a receiver of taxes do? You could tell them. So we had we had people going out, campaigning and knocking on doors, and basically asking people to vote for me for receiver of taxes, and the 9 times out of 10, the person would say, what does the receiver of taxes do? And the canvasser would say, I guess receive the taxes. You can see there's more to it. So when people ask, why make the tax payments payable to me, It's because by law, I am the sole trustee of the property tax collection and personally responsible for the funds. And it is my great honor to be placed in charge of all of this. And I thank you for the trust you have in me to do this awesome job. Public service is a second career for me. In 2000, when Tom DiNapoli was chairman of the Nassau County Democratic Committee, and you could check his Wikipedia page. It's, like 2 pages long, and it's got all of his accomplishments, but there's only 2 sentences in there that he did this. But the fact of the matter that he did this, he basically, saved and transformed the party in a briefly, relatively short period of time. So that was at a point in my life where I was looking to decide what I was going to do next. And I was married, I had 3 young children. This was a very serious decision. And really, when you come to those crossroads, you talk to the people that you know and you trust, and you seek out their guidance and support. And I spoke to Tom, and he advised me and supported me and helped me get my first job in government, which was Deputy Town Clerk of Oyster Bay. And in 2003, he recommended me to Supervisor Newberg and Receiver of Taxes Ann Galante for the position of Deputy Receiver of Taxes of North Hempstead. And then later that year, I was appointed Acting Receiver of Taxes right before the school tax bills were mailed. And this was the first tax roll created after the court-ordered reassessment of all properties in Nassau County. So, as you can imagine, there was quite a tumult. It was all hell broke loose. But, we basically do what we always do. We responded to the crisis. In 2004, with Tom's support, I was appointed to be the assistant to the chairman of the Nassau County Board of Assessors. And in March of that year, I received a brief note from Tom in the mail. And it's addressed Charles Berman, Special Assistant to the Nassau County Assessor. And it says, "Dear Charlie, congratulations on another challenge. You've stepped into the breach a number of times and always done well. Keep it up." So I want to tell you that that's why I'm here. I'm stepping into the breach again. And as always, we're going to keep it up. And I want you to know, Tom, that I will keep serving as long as I can. So thank you. I should say this letter's dated March 26, 2004. I keep this in my desk. It's been with me the whole time. So, in closing, I'd like to congratulate our supervisor, Judi Bosworth, on her inauguration and thank her for her guidance and her help and support. And I have to say, if you have to run for office, the best thing to do would be to run on Judy's ticket. So, Judi, I'm so grateful to you. Thank you. Thank you. And congratulations to our new councilwomen, Veronica Lurvey and Mariann Dalimonte. I'm telling you, this is the Cagney and Lacey of North Hempstead. I mean, this is a dynamic duo. The best is yet to come. So congratulations to both of you. And of course, to my brother from Roslyn, Councilman Peter Zuckerman, congratulations. We're still great friends, even though you root for Ohio State now and I root for Penn State. And I would also like to thank John Ryan for his incredible leadership and all the campaign workers and volunteers who helped get us reelected. Thank you, everyone. Have a happy and healthy new year.
Next, we're going to be bringing up Councilman Peter Zuckerman, and I just want to say one thing about Peter, and that in this past campaign, Peter was the incumbent, and I have to acknowledge and thank Peter, because there were times during it where things went astray, but Peter put you back on track, and I want honestly your guidance at times really wrote the ship right, if that's the right way to say it. Mayor Copeland is going to be installing Peter, and I am just thrilled to be announcing that the mayor, Michael Copeland, has been the mayor of East Hills for 20 years.
26.
26 years.
26.
26 years. The park at East Hills is one of the jewels, and there's no question about it. I read about the park at East Hills. He has a program for seniors called Seniors Activity Committee. He has Kids in the Parks program. And more importantly, he has the state's strongest review for fiscal integrity from the Comptroller's Office. This is a mayor, 26 years, excuse me, but for 26 years, you have earned the support, obviously, to be there for 26 years.
Thank
It's
you.
an absolute pleasure. Peter, would you please come up?
I just want you to know that Kim sent out an email to those of us that are up here now. And in it, she said that Peter will be sworn in around 3:20 and that you must limit your remarks to 2 minutes. Well, I'll try to do that. The sun is setting, and of course, I have known Peter over 20 years. Peter spent 11 years as a trustee with me. He was there during the fight we had to acquire the Air National Guard with the assistance of Gary Ackerman. Is Gary still here? I don't know. But he left? Okay. Anyway, Gary Ackerman was essential to helping us get that property. And Peter worked day and night for it. Now, the problem was that, Peter loved what he was doing. I had appointed him a prosecutor prior to him becoming a trustee. And then he got this call from the town of North Hempstead, and he came to me and he said, well, what do you think? I said, well, what I think is I don't want to lose you. However, every time I see Judi, she thanks me for Peter. So you should be aware of that. Congratulations, obviously, to my friend and supervisor, Judi, and to others that I have yet to meet the new council people. Which I hope to meet in the future. And obviously, the elected officials that are here, I'm honored that you all came here to support the candidates and now the elected officials in the town of North Hempstead. So, Peter, bring up everybody. There are a lot of people. Now, I've sworn Peter in a couple times, trustee, prosecutor, and now again as councilman. He's our councilman. We always refer to Peter as our guy at the town, because we can always call him. If Peter doesn't respond, I have a power that everyone would want. I can tell my guys, don't pick up his garbage. Peter, state your name.
Peter Zuckerman.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties
the duties
of the office
of the office
as councilman
as councilman
for the town of North
for
Hempstead,
the town of North Hempstead,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations again.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today? I promise I'll be brief, Veronica. I apologize. And what Michael said is absolutely true. 3:20 was they said that I was supposed to speak. So, but it is truly special to be here today. Some of you may know this. As a young man, I grew up around the corner from here in New Hyde Park on Beechwood, on Peter Lane. Then I moved to East Hills thereafter. But I lived 5 minutes from here. And my brother and I would come here over the summers, and we would swim here. And so this is a special place in my heart, and I'm excited to be here. I have to say to welcome all of my friends in government, my family, and everyone here, and thank you for coming out today. It is truly an honor to serve in this position. I've been serving as a councilman now for 6 years. I've had the pleasure and the honor to work with Supervisor Judi Bosworth. She is truly amazing. I mean, there's not enough good words that I could possibly say other than I am so proud to be working with you and proud to call you my friend. To my fellow council people, it's truly special that we have two new council people in office now. Veronica Lurvey, you were appointed just like I was initially, and you're serving. Mariann Dalimonte, wonderful, for Washington. We're so glad you're here. Charlie Berman, as you said, you're my brother from Roslyn, and yes, I do root for Ohio State. We're still hurting from the other day, but we'll take it. But I'm very lucky. I work with our town clerk, Wayne Wink, who's also my brother from Roslyn as well. Councilman Viviana Russell, she's amazing. Councilman Angelo Ferrari, he's not here today, but I have to say, if he was here, he probably wouldn't want me to tell you this, but he was my Little League coach when I was 10 years old. And Angelo always likes to make the joke that if he was a better coach, then I wouldn't be here. I would be playing for the Yankees. But, and then, but on all seriousness, and Councilwoman Lee Seaman, I love Lee. Who doesn't love Lee? Come on, we love Lee. Give her a round of applause. I know Lee wanted to be here as well. It's special. Now, my district is District 2. So if you drew it on a map, it sort of looks like a boot. I'm going to say East Hills first, Mayor Copeland's going to say. So it's East Hills, Roslyn Heights, Albertson, Roslyn Harbor, Greenvale, Glenwood Landing, portions of New Hyde Park, Manhasset Hills, East Williston, and a sliver of Williston Park. So it's a big district. And I have to say, I'm proud to say that I think I've knocked almost every door in the district in my 6 years in office. And as Michael said, he's sworn me in a few times, and it never gets old. I served, as Michael said, as a trustee in the Village of East Hills for 11 years. And Michael taught me that serving in a position of public trust, serving in a political office, this is the most important honor that anyone could ever bestow upon you. And Michael, I really appreciate everything you've done for me. And I have to say, many times I'll say to myself, what would Michael do? And that's one of the things that I will take with me in whatever I do going forward. There's many elected officials here that I've known for quite some time. Tom DiNapoli, I think I've known you at least 20 years. A trustee from the Village of East Hills, Linda Nathanson, introduced me to this wonderful man. And she said to me, you have to meet this guy. He's a shooting star. And Tom has treated me, I was just a resident. I wasn't a prosecutor. I wasn't a trustee. I wasn't a council person. And Tom treated me like I was special. He answered my questions. He always spoke directly to me, and I've always appreciated his friendship. And he's continued to be an important supporter and a confidant of mine through my time in office, and I really appreciate it. Tom Suozzi, Tom didn't mention this, but when Tom was running for county executive against the Republican candidate that particular year, your first time, I was working on Tom's campaign, and Tom was going to a couple street fairs, and I was the front guy for Tom Suozzi, and it was a great gig for me because I was this young guy. I was a lawyer, and I didn't have much political experience. And Tom, I learned so much from you on that campaign, the way you spoke to people, the way you answered their questions, the way you treated them all special, the way you always remembered everyone's name. Even today, you still remember everybody's name, and I'm in awe of that. But Tom, thank you for your friendship. I really appreciate that. Jay Jacobs, he's not here today, but I have to say has been a great friend of mine for many years. It's not because my kids all went to his camps, but he's been a great friend of mine for many years and a wonderful advisor. And Jay, thank you for all of your support over the years. I appreciate it. Chuck Levine, I know he was here. I think he left. Chuck has been a wonderful friend of mine and a wonderful supporter. When I first went into office, I had to give a big speech, maybe my first big speech. And so Chuck takes me aside. He's like, Peter, you have to make sure to tell a few jokes when you speak, because otherwise people are not going to respond. You can't just, you have to tell a few jokes. And anyone who's heard Chuck speak, he's hilarious, and he's a wonderful speaker. So he gives this speech, and he's talking about Lincoln, and he's talking about all these things. There's no way that I could ever speak as well as Chuck. And he gives a wonderful speech, and then I had to go. So Chuck told me to tell a funny story. So my first job in government, I was working as a clerk for Judge Patricia Collins of the Nassau County Supreme Court. I was there about a month, and as a clerk, you're reading a lot of boring legal briefs. It was, a bit dry. And so one time the judge, she walks into the office where a few of us were in, and she says, "Does anyone know how to fix the copy machine?" Well, I was so, I was anxious to do something besides just reading these legal briefs. I said, "Yeah, I could do it." Not that I know anything about copy machines. So I go into her chambers, and she had a copy machine, and I did what any young lawyer in that position would do. I'm banging it, I'm kicking it, and I break off some knob on the side of, it was knob number 3, I still remember. And I said, "Well, Judge, I have good news. I fixed your copier, but bad news is I broke this." She said, "Put that in your pocket." I didn't see that. So Chuck liked that story, and he always wanted, he said, "Tell that story." So Chuck, I know you're not here, but I'm telling you. So my family, my wife Brenda, you are my rock. I could not have done this without you. People think that this job is a part-time job. No, it is not a part-time job. It's more than a full-time job. I mean, my law practice, it's not a part-time job, and I could not do this without you. And I love you, and I appreciate your support, and you've supported me the entire way. My children, Emily and Matthew, Judi was talking about the pictures when we were sworn in. Well, when I was sworn in 6 years ago, you were little kids. You were little kids who probably were shorter than this podium. Now you're freshmen in Rosslyn High School, and I couldn't be more proud. My oldest son, Ben, we took him to the airport this morning. He's a freshman in Ohio State, and we're so proud, even though that we're upset at Clemson, but we're still pretty happy. And we wish he would be here. Now, Russell promised me, Russell's the photographer, he promised me he will Photoshop my son into the photo, so that'll be good. That's important. But the thing about this position, and part of my stump speech was our AAA bond rating. Moody's Magazine ranking us 8th as a place to retire, reducing debt. All of these things were part of my stump speech. So I won't go into that, because I know you guys are all anxious to get out of here. But I will say this, this is not easy, okay? This election, this was a mandate. We achieved approximately 66% across the board here. It's amazing, and it's a testament to Supervisor Bosworth and all the people that I work with. There are some others that I really need to thank. I need to thank Robert Zimmerman. He's been a wonderful confidant of mine. I actually think my mother's here to see him, not even me. But, and I appreciate your support. Joe Galante, thank you so much for everything. You've always been a close friend, and I know, and I haven't forgotten that I wouldn't be here, I don't think, without you, so I really appreciate that. It's special that you're a good friend of mine. There's a few others that I have to mention. My crew from East Hills, a few of them couldn't make it tonight, but Brian Meyerson, thank you for coming, one of the trustees. The attorney for the Village of East Hills, Bill Burton, I appreciate his support and wish he was here today. And, I want to say this, that this is not an easy job. You got to want it. You got to really want to help the public. You want to be able to do the right thing all the time and help people. And that's why we do this. I want to mention my parents. I don't want to forget them. You've knocked, I don't know how many doors over the years for me, and got how many signatures. I made how many phone calls. I truly, I appreciate it so much. You've always been huge supporters of mine, and I appreciate it. My brother Michael Zuckerman as well. But, again, I am so honored that the voters reelected me to serve 4 more years. And I'll continue to use my experience as a councilman and local leader to help the quality of life, hold down the cost of taxes and government, and help ensure the safety and security of our neighbors. Thank you very much.
Okay, next we're going to have the swearing in of Veronica Lurvey, and coming up is Anna Kaplan. I'm reading something and also saying something about Anna. Anna is the first political refugee and the first Iranian-American elected to the New York State Senate. She is also the chair of the Commerce, Economic Development, and Small Business Committee. That's tremendous in and of itself. But how did Anna get there? Anna didn't push, didn't fight. Anna was chosen. 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, whenever we were trying to get ready to have somebody run for the Senate, different people threw their names into the hat. And Anna basically said to me, I will not do it if you don't want me to do it. And at one point in time, after interviewing various people who were interested in the position, Jay Jacobs sat down with me, and then Tom Gary and I and Anna sat down, and Tom said to Anna, would you be willing to run and represent us in the 7th District? And she said yes. And that is the way she got there, and what she has done since then is beyond belief, because this woman hit the ground running. She's the second coming of Judi Bosworth, because she really is. She's learned from the best, because she makes it her business to respect everybody, to show up at everything, and to support everybody. And there's nobody I could be prouder of as our senator than Anna Kaplan.
Good afternoon, almost good evening, not quite yet, no. Let's give a round of applause to our wonderful leader, John Ryer. I promise I'm going to be very short. I want to first of all thank everybody for coming here today. I want to congratulate my supervisor, my mentor, someone who really welcomed me and really took me under her wing. I want to say about 8 years ago. It's a testament to you to see a room full of people who believe in you, believe in your honesty, your integrity, and your leadership. I'm honored to have served with you. I've also had the privilege of serving with Charlie and Peter for quite a few years. Congratulations to both of you. And I also want to extend my congratulations to Veronica and also Mariann Dalimonte. Mariann, welcome to Town of North Hempstead Town Board, to the wonderful family. So I have the privilege and honor of being here tonight to introduce Veronica Lurvey. Veronica is one of the smartest, most accomplished, and most dedicated public servants I know. So it's truly my honor and privilege to be here today and officially swear her in to her first full term as councilwoman for the 4th District in Town of North Hempstead. Veronica didn't just start serving our community when she was appointed as councilwoman last year. She has been immersed in our community since moving to Great Neck to raise her family. She served on our community on the Kensington Zoning Board of Appeals, has been a leader at Temple Israel of Great Neck, is involved with the PTA at the Schechter School, and she co-founded North Shore Action, which does so much good work in our community. Many of the members who are here tonight to celebrate with her. North Shore Action has fought and advocated for gun violence prevention, public safety, environmental conservation, suicide prevention, and services to fight the opioid epidemic crisis. On top of her impressive resume of the community service, Veronica has had an incredible career as a counsel at Skadden, and even there, she started Mothers Group to provide support to the firm's young moms. As a councilwoman, Veronica has been thoughtful and attentive to all her constituents and every community that she represents. Also, it bears to note, she has single-handedly raised the average height on the town board by at least 4 inches. So it is my privilege to invite her, her wonderful husband John, and her 2 sons, Jacob and Sam, to come up and take the oath. Please raise your hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Veronica Lurvey,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I faithfully discharge
and I faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of council member
the duties of the office of council member
for the town of North Hempstead,
for the town of North Hempstead,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Senator Kaplan. You set the foundation for our community as councilwoman before me and championed my appointment to succeed you, and you've been a source of inspiration for a long time and have been doing wonderful things as state senator. I want to begin by thanking my wonderful husband, John, my sons, Jacob and Sam, my family, whether in Europe or Los Angeles or elsewhere, Supervisor Bosworth, for placing your trust in me. She really is as amazing as people say she is. John Ryan, Julianne Jensen, Romina Terrani. Every day we work together to make the town the best it can be. North Shore Action for your support and on-the-ground help these many, many months. And all the residents of the 4th District for making your home here. And I want to thank all of you for coming and for staying. I want to thank Congressman Suozzi. You've been a tremendous help over the campaign. The support that you've given me has been immeasurable, and I really, really appreciate it. I never expected to serve as town councilwoman, and I'm deeply honored to serve in my first elected term in the role. I want to start this new term with a couple of key priorities very quickly. We've seen a dramatic rise in anti-Semitism and intolerance across the country. And I'm proud that the town of North Hempstead has led the way in confronting hate and intolerance with our Not in Our Town program. And equally as important, by celebrating our diversity and promoting different opportunities for our communities to come together, to learn from each other, and to appreciate the beauty of our various cultures. We actively continue to build upon these programs and these efforts, and we need to continue to do so. I look forward to leading the way in advancing this important cause. The town has a unique opportunity also to lead the way in environmental issues, implementing standards and setting expectations that will preserve the beauty, vitality, and health of our community and our planet for future generations. We think globally, but at the town of North Hempstead, we act locally. I also look forward to taking a leadership role in promoting vibrant, walkable, healthy downtowns. As Supervisor Bosworth mentioned, this is a very important initiative. We need downtowns that not only reflect the community and not only make our main streets more appealing for businesses, but help motivate the next generation of Long Islanders to want to stay here. The town of North Hempstead, under the leadership of Supervisor Bosworth, has led the way on so many issues. You've heard some of them today: transparency, responsiveness, respect for the residents, services for seniors and veterans, fiscal responsibility, and that's just part of it. I am grateful for the honor to continue to serve on this amazing team. I congratulate Judi and Charlie and Peter and Mariann. I look forward to continuing to work with Wayne and Viviana and Angelo and Lee, and with all the amazing elected officials that are in this room today. You set the bar high, and I hope to be able to reach for it and to help propel the town of North Hempstead forward. Thank you.
The last swearing in will be Mariann Dalimonte. That's for Mariann. It's not because I said it was the last, okay? Let's be real. And that's going to be by Supervisor Bosworth. But I want to back up and just tell people some personal stuff. I have 3 daughters, 2 of which are early school teachers, 1st and 2nd grade. I have 6 grandchildren, so I know a lot about books. There's a book recently that one of the kids was reading to one of my children called The Little Blue Truck. And it's so funny because bipartisanship was mentioned before. I think it was by Peter in reference to Judi. The Little Blue Truck is this is the story. There's a big yellow dump truck that's going through the town, ignoring everybody, just pushing its way through. And behind him is the little blue dump truck, which is about 1/10 of the size. And he's following along. But as he goes along, he says hello to the cows and the horses and the sheep and everybody. Okay? The yellow truck doesn't give a damn about anybody. He's just going along. The yellow truck gets stuck in the mud. The little blue truck comes along and tries to push him out, and unfortunately, he gets stuck in the mud. So now they're both stuck in the mud, except the little blue truck has friends because he's been bipartisan. And all the cows and the trucks and the birds and everybody comes to push the little blue truck, push the yellow truck out of the mud, and everybody is free. And what happens? The big dump truck turns around to the little one and says, "It's so nice to have friends. You've taught me something very valuable. Just by saying hello, just by being kind, you make a group of people around you that actually care for you." That, in my mind, is the epitome of our supervisor, the Honorable Judi Bosworth.
I don't know that it's ever been compared to a truck, but sounds good. Well, it has been quite an afternoon leading into the evening, and thank you all for staying and for being here for all of us. So, everybody here is great, but I'd like to say we're saving the best till last because we have Mariann as the newest member of our council. We're so excited that you're here and joining us, as we are so happy that Veronica is here and Peter is here and Charlie is here. But Mariann is first joining us. And we're so proud of you, Mariann. What a campaign you ran. So today, as you're joined by your husband, Jim, your children, James and Amanda, and I understand Lindsay's studying in Asia, your parents, your brother, mother-in-law, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins. Just for them all voting for Mariann, she would have won. And they probably did, because Mariann is 4th generation Port Washington, so everybody is here to support her. And I'm going to try to do this quick. So, but I don't want to cut anything out because you deserve all the accolades. You bring so much to the table within the community. You're already known for your leadership ability and your ability to bring people together. You've had leadership roles with the Greater Port Washington Business Improvement District, Residents Forward. That was one part of your life. You're known for your tireless work with countless community organizations, serving as a volunteer in many of the Port Washington schools, as president of the Home and School Association, so much more, working with different groups to improve the quality of education and the educational environment for the children in the community. And my God, how many boards are you a part of? Listen to this. Port Washington Chamber of, she's on the board. Port Washington Chamber of Commerce, Port Washington Senior Center, and the Ed Foundation. There's a reason when I recently gathered our commissioners together to meet Mariann, one after another have said, oh, I know the councilwoman, I worked with her on this, I know the councilwoman, I worked with her on that. So you're no stranger to North Hempstead and how things work here. So clearly, you hit the ground running before you even got here. As town supervisor, I've also had the opportunity to see Mariann in action. She's always right in the heart of things, rolling up her sleeves, saying, how can I help? And I know that she's going to continue to do this in her role as councilwoman. I remember the first time I met Mariann, it was actually at a Port Washington Community Chest meeting. I was running for supervisor, except no one knew I was running for supervisor. I hadn't announced that I was running for supervisor, and like, what was I doing there? But Mariann saw me, introduced herself, took me under her wing, and immediately I knew this is someone I'm going to be friends with, and that was a prophecy that certainly came true. She welcomed me with, Mary, you welcomed me with your own special brand of charm and warmth. And those of you who know Mariann, and those of you who will get to know Mariann, will know that this is what epitomizes Mariann. And so those of you who don't know her, you really have something special to look forward to. So as I said before, Mariann's fourth generation Port Washington. She has deep roots in the community. One of our mayors who was walking through Port Washington, through their village, ringing doorbells with Mariann, came away from the experience saying, not only did Mariann needed no introduction, she was introducing me to people in my village. So this is an extent of the kind of outreach that, hi, Mayor Bob. Oops. But that's such a great example of what Mariann has brought to this. She's already embraced the role that she was meant to have. So Wayne, Mariann, and I attended an Eagle Scout ceremony of Troop 7 in Port Washington yesterday. And Mariann spoke, so when we spoke, she found out, I don't know, were you the bridesmaid at Gordon's mother's wedding? She was your bridesmaid. So it's like the interactions and the connections just are boundless. Your roots run deep in Port Washington, and I know you're going to extend that to the Manhasset part of your community. I remember you and Veronica campaigning together, saying, we're going to be a team, we're going to be working together, as we will on the entire council. But you have overlapping districts, and it's so great to know that you're going to be working together to address the needs of that. So you know the community, you love the community, and we all love you right back. So I wish you the best of luck as you embark on this new journey. You've been demonstrating your commitment to our residents for as long as I know you, and certainly way before that. So we're officially welcoming you to the Town of North Hempstead family. We're delighted to have you with us. We're looking forward to having you work as a team to make the town an even better place. Let's do this. Whoever you want. I, Mariann Dalimonte,
I, Mariann Dalimonte,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New York,
of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties
the duties
of the office
of the office
of Council Member District 6
of Council Member District 6
for the Town of North
for the
Hempstead
Town of North Hempstead
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations!
Before I start, I have to say thank you to everyone who stayed. I know I was last. I want to say good afternoon, but it's 5:15, so I should really say good evening. I want to thank Supervisor Bosworth, John Ryan, and everybody else standing with me today for their leadership, guidance, and most importantly, their faith in me. I'm proud to be part of such an effective team, and I'm excited to hit the ground running alongside them in Town Hall for the betterment of our community. I also want to especially thank my family. Running for office was more than a full-time job, and my husband, Jim, where are you? Along with my children, James, Amanda, and Lindsay, who can't be with us today because she's studying in Asia during the month of January. They were all so patient throughout this process, a lot of takeout dinners, no home-cooked meals. As I take on this new role contributing to our community, words can't express how grateful I am for their support, along with my parents, my mom who's here from South Carolina, my in-laws, my mother-in-law Edie, who was running my kids back and forth because I was on the campaign trail, and my sister-in-law Tony, Deanne, and my brother Robbie, who were there all to help our family get me through this process. And the rest of my family, my cousins, came to the campaign headquarters, made phone calls, they called everybody. It was a family event, and thank you very much. And also, I would not be here today if it wasn't for the efforts of everybody else who helped along the way. There's so many of you in this room, and I don't want to leave anybody out. Larry Greenstein, Kim Kaiserman, Debbie Harari, you were my rock. Yair, every day praying for me at synagogue. There's so many of you that are here. He was. He had, the Chabad even had a kiddush for me the Saturday after I left. They called it JFK just for the kiddush I came, because they called it JFK. So there's so many people in this room that really hit that campaign trail. Robert Zimmerman, Bill Bakken, Aaron Molyneux, Harrison is right there. He sat with me every week and helped me learn how to write a speech and really be there for me. And we became such good friends. And thank you. So I'm grateful for everyone, for your hard work, your dedication, and for believing in me. When I announced my campaign in February, we were guided by a simple idea, a platform of transparency, and the notion that everyone's voice matters. It was an idea that resonated across the district. I got to see firsthand at many, many doorsteps how everybody really wanted to know what was going on in our town. In the months ahead, I'll take steps at Town Hall to be the bridge between my constituents and our local government. And the first step in doing that is by listening. So I look forward to not only meeting with individuals and organizations to hear their voices and ideas, but holding down town hall meetings across my district to provide the community a direct line of communication on the issues that affect all of us. My family has lived on this peninsula for 4 generations. I'm a homeowner here. I raised my kids here, sent them to school here. I ran for town council because I want to help strengthen our community so that the next generation can live, thrive, and raise their families here too. In the weeks, thank you. In the weeks, months, and years ahead, I look forward to working with all of you to do just that. I also wanted to give a shout out to really everybody that stayed here. Anna for doing the campaign trail for me, Jack for knocking on doors, Wayne, Mayor Bob, all of the support. Anytime I needed support, I just picked up the phone, and everyone, Delia, everybody was there for me. And it really touched my heart, and I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, and Happy New Year, and get home safe.
Wait 1 moment, please. 1 moment, please. Remain standing, but remain in your seats. I'd like to bring up Bishop Lionel Harvey from the First Baptist Church of Westbury for a closing benediction.
No, that's okay. Let us bow. God, we thank you for this great privilege of being here on this day that you've dropped out of eternity into time. And we charge these that have come before you to do the work that has been assigned to their hands. To whom much is given, much is required. And we thank you that you will equip them to do that which is pleasing in your sight. Now allow us to help them along the way. We pray a spirit of unity and peace in this nation, for this great county and for this great town. We thank you for the leadership of Judi Bosworth, and we thank you for those that will fly under the banner of that which you want to do for all of us here. Now dismiss us from this place as we celebrate that which you have done. Let no hurt, harm, nor danger come nigh our dwelling place. Keep our minds in perfect peace as they are stayed on you, and give us a mind to do the work and to be uncompromising and unwavering, always keeping our eyes on you. We ask it in the name of the Life-Giver King, and the people of God said, Amen.